Every single day, humanity generates roughly 328 million terabytes of data. Mind-blowing, right? Welcome to This Explainer. We're going to take a step back. We're going to look past all the hype surrounding neural networks and really focus on the invisible engine that's running the modern world. It's so easy to get caught up in the magic of complex code that we totally forget about the raw material making artificial intelligence possible in the first place.
To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to track one single piece of data. Let's just say a random temperature reading from a smart thermostat, and follow its entire journey from raw collection all the way to ethical deployment across these 5 stages.
Okay, part 1, AI's most vital fuel. Let's start right at the source. Think of raw data kinda like unrefined crude oil, and information as the premium, high-octane gasoline that's actually ready to burn. In its completely raw state, data is just a disconnected, lonely fact. Like a raw temperature reading of 72 means absolutely nothing on its own. It's only when we organize it with context, like knowing it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit inside a critical server room at 3 in the morning, that it magically crosses over and becomes useful information. Understanding that leap is absolutely crucial to seeing how an intelligent system learns to make decisions.
People always say data is the fuel of AI, and honestly, they hit the nail on the head. If data is the fuel, then AI is the high-performance engine. I mean, if you pour dirty diesel into a Formula One race car, you are going to completely wreck the engine. It's the exact same concept here. If you feed garbage, unrefined data into a massive neural network, you're just going to get highly confident, computationally expensive garbage right back.
See, machine learning isn't just a human programmer sitting down and explicitly writing a rule that says, hey, a stop sign is a red octagon. Not at all. Instead, the algorithm basically chews through 3 million images of stop signs. We're talking stop signs in blizzards, covered in graffiti, pitch black at midnight, until it fundamentally grasps the pattern all on its own. It uncovers the rules by consuming the fuel.
So what happens if our fuel is straight up contaminated? Well, in traditional software coding, a bug just breaks the system, right? But in AI, bad data doesn't just break the system, it kind of breaks reality. The old computer science joke used to be garbage in, garbage out. Today, with modern AI, it's much more like garbage in, systemic bias out.
Moving on to stage 2, gathering and refining data. Welcome to the refinery.
The sheer volume of data collection happening around us right now is staggering. To put it in perspective, a single autonomous vehicle can pump out up to 4 terabytes of data in just one day. That temperature reading from your living room thermostat, it's literally just a tiny drop in this massive ocean, compiled from street cameras, public databases, and billions of internet-connected devices that are constantly feeding these networks.
But how does that raw temperature reading become premium fuel? Well, it doesn't just happen by magic. There is a massive, and I mean massive, invisible army of human labelers doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. They have to meticulously scrub away the noisy data, integrate everything, and manually tag it. Our raw 72 reading has to be formatted, labeled, and validated by real people way before an algorithm ever gets its hands on it.
And this refined fuel goes through incredibly strict quality control. Let's just look at the concept of being timely for a second. Imagine an AI trading stocks on Wall Street right now, but whoops, because of a pipeline glitch, it's accidentally being fed financial data from the 2008 market crash. It literally doesn't matter how brilliant that algorithm is. If the data isn't perfectly timely and relevant, the outcome is going to be an absolute disaster. All right, stage 3, the AI project cycle. Our fuel is refined, so let's watch this engine roar to life. Let's play this out. Imagine we're building an AI to detect crop diseases. First, we scope out the problem. Farmers are losing wheat to some new fungus. Then, we go out and acquire thousands of photos of healthy and diseased wheat. There's our raw data. Next, we explore and model that data, evaluate how accurate it is against new photos, and finally, we deploy it as a handy app on a farmer smartphone. Through that entire cycle, from the very first idea to the final launch, data is the absolute center of gravity.
Which brings us to stage 4, real-world AI applications. Let's check out the amazing places this engine actually takes us.
Literally before you've even finished your morning coffee, refined data has already optimized your smart thermostat, filtered out the spam in your inbox, and checked your bank account for weird overnight charges. It's quietly running route optimization for your morning commute and powering threat detection for the servers hosting this very explainer. It's the whole shebang.
Now, the stakes across these different apps vary wildly. If your email filter gets fed some bad data, a piece of spam hits your inbox. Annoying? Sure, but harmless. But if a self-driving car's mapping system is trained on flawed data, it might misclassify a pedestrian crossing the street as a shadow. That stark contrast really highlights why the relentless pursuit of high-quality data is, quite literally, a matter of life and death.
And finally, Stage 5, challenges and data ethics. We really need to take a hard look at the exhaust and maintenance of our AI engine.
This whole ecosystem, it's incredibly fragile. Actually, the most persistent threat usually isn't some mastermind hacker. It's a biased data set. A few years ago, a major tech company built an AI to screen resumes, but they trained it on a decade of their own historical hiring data. And because their past hires were overwhelmingly male, the AI learned to automatically downgrade any resumes that included the word women's. The data was technically accurate to their history, but it was fundamentally flawed for building a fair future.
That kind of failure absolutely destroys public trust, and without trust, this entire engine gets shut down. Things like informed consent, privacy protection, and transparency, they aren't just bureaucratic HR checklists to tick off. They are foundational survival metrics. If developers can't prove their data is ethically sourced and responsibly handled, the AI industry just cannot survive in the long run.
It's the ultimate trade-off, right? On one hand, we are gaining unparalleled automation, way better medical decisions, and just incredible predictive foresight. But in exchange, we're taking on astronomical computational costs and immense privacy responsibilities. The power we extract from the machine is completely bound by the limitations of what we feed into it.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. If an AI's output is purely a reflection of the data it consumes, then the real question isn't whether the AI itself will be good or bad. The question is the data we're feeding it today building a reality that we actually want to live in tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.